Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason, and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. In today's episode, we're jumping over to this section of the layout. Now, more specifically, we're going to be building a pier that sits right here. Now, I've already made a paper pattern, so we'll take this pattern over to the workbench, and we'll get started on this. Okay, now let's get everything stained. Now, what I've done here is, and you'll see when I start to assemble it, but we have a second level that sits right here, and then it gets a ramp that sits like that, and then we have a set of stairs that go right there. Then over here, we have a structure that we're going to build that's going to sit right here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this all stained. And of course, we're using murky brown from Best. Now we're going to go over it with shadow gray. Staining both sides prevents it from warping. This one is warping a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to put bracing under it going this direction, so that will straighten it out. And then before this completely dries, we'll set some weights on it. I want to point out quick that I did not brace these walls, and they did not warp. Now, a couple reasons for that. The stain is an alcohol-based stain, which makes a huge difference. It's not water-based. And then secondly, I put a very thin layer on, and I did both sides. Now you can see, hopefully you can, that it's not even, it's not a solid color, and that's okay. It just adds to the realism, because we're going to put a color over this to make it look like it's a chipped paint. I think too many people soak it, even if they're going to do two different shades. They just soak it to get a solid look, and you don't need to. Go very thin with it. But even on a piece like this that's good size, it did not warp. Well, as you can see, I've got my boards glued on. These should always run the opposite direction of your boards. So you can see there, all these boards run this way. And then these are the opposite. I forgot to mention that the wood that I'm using is from northeasternscalelumber.com. And this is a 1/16 of an inch thick. And then the individual boards are 1/8 of an inch wide. Okay, next we're going to take some skewers and paint them to match this wood, and then we'll cut them all to length. Okay, so here's our pier so far. Now for the pilings, I used wooden skewers. Now you could go and buy wooden dowels from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And let's see, these are 1/8 of an inch wide. And so I just painted these using bittersweet chocolate and fawn. And just mixed it until I thought that it sort of matched the color of the wood. Then we have this little one that goes up here. We have a set of stairs to build that goes right there, and then we have a ramp that gets put on there. And we'll probably put railings on there. We'll put railings around this. And then we have to get some pilings put in here. And same with on the front here. So for the pilings in the front, I cut some to length. And they'll get glued in there just like that. So I take a hammer and hammer the top so the edges are a little rounded over. I then cut a shorter one and I tie them together with a heavy thread. And this thread is used for sewing denim. And it has a nice texture to it. And for the barnacles on the bottom, I use Eileen's tacky glue. I put some on with a paintbrush and then sprinkle on fine ballast. And this comes in gray or tan. Gray would actually probably look a little better, but all I have is the tan, so I just use this. And then I'll just simply glue those onto the front. And maybe we'll tie some little HO scale tires on the front. Then I have finished our little structure for the end. And that'll go just like that. Now that little structure is from a kit. Steelton Wharf from Casey's Workshop. And it is a small bait shop. Here is the bait shop right there. Now, I added on to the side and this is just scratch built. And then, because I added that, I had to scratch build the back of it. Next, we're going to work on the big concrete dock that goes right behind this. Okay, next we need to cut some of this pink styrofoam for our large dock. So I first made a cut to give me a nice smooth surface on this side. So next, we'll just slide this through and make a lot of thin pieces. So now we can put these all together and glue them down for our for the deck. And then we'll carve lines going this way, the opposite direction. I'll show you. We'll go over to the layout and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, well, as you can see, I glued in all of the styrofoam and I let this dry overnight. So it's completely dry. Now the paint is really thin. I've been dipping my brush in water, so it's not like a full strength thick paint, because I want the texture of the foam to show. Okay, that was just a regular gray that I had mixed at Home Depot. And now we're going to use chalk paint Cocoon. I'm just getting the surface wet. Okay, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but I tried to make the center of each of the squares that I cut lighter with this. And we're going to let this dry now, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to do more of a dry brush technique. And we'll dry brush over all of this. And then we're also going to do some pigments. And I think I'm going to try... Going to be tough, but I want some of that cocoon to be on the side. Okay, now we're going to use some pigments. All right, well, here's where we're at so far. And I've started to add some detail, like the wood along here, and then these ties. Now I have to put wood along here, and then obviously we have to put our pilings here in the front, and we have to put some pilings right here, and then railings get put around this top area. And I'll probably put a railing down the side here, and then a small railing down on this side of the steps. So much to do. So much to do. I have to build a deck back here with a set of stairs that go back. I'm considering putting a bridge right here. Just a thin walkway between the two of those structures. I have to build a little platform with a set of steps going down right here. And then I have to build a staircase that goes down right here. I may break off this railing and have this platform extend out and up, and maybe put a sidewalk here. Now this will have a sidewalk on both sides and then the street in the center, just like this. So I'll have a brick sidewalk on both sides and street down the center. Now I want to put a long rectangle building right here. And then we're going to put a building right here. So I'm starting to slow down on my progress over here, which means I need to take a break from it. So let's build our long, thin structure that's going to sit right here. And I've been thinking about this, and I think I have the perfect kit that's going to fit right here. For our long, thin building, we're going to use a structure from Rust Rock Falls, which was a limited edition kit back in 2019. And we're building the dance hall. Now you can see there's a wood structure right here, and then this long structure right here. And they're connected. We're going to reverse it. We're going to put this long, or this wood structure on this side. Let's see if there's a different picture. Here's the wood structure. And then there's the other one. So I've already started. I cut probably a ½ inch off the length of the building so that it doesn't go back quite as far. So that's how that will be. We just need to stain the walls and paint it, and then the structure that goes next to it sits just like this. Now, I did cut a little bit off of it, and this is the top, this is the roof. So I then had to, because this was supposed to sit on this side, I had to flip it and then fold it the opposite way. Hopefully that makes sense. It all works. Now I need to brace this, brace the roof, get that glued together, and then there is another piece that must be in the box that this gets glued to. So I put this together and then just sprayed it with a flat black. Now we're going to stain our walls, and I'm going to try a new stain, a new color, Dirty Straw. Again, it's from Best. This is brand new. I've never tried this. The name is perfect because it actually does look like Dirty Straw. Has a yellow tint to it. show you the difference. Hopefully you can see. Nice. I really like this color. Okay, these are all dry. Now, for the fun of it, let's experiment. Let's take aged barnwood and see what that looks like over it. Yeah, that really, it really ages it. All right, I am happy with that. All right, well, the model is finished, and I know I skipped a lot. I just stayed up all night and finished this. It's really basic. And then all the weathering was done with the ammo pigments. So just different shades. Grays, browns, rust colors. All right, so let's go take this over to the layout and you can see where it's going to go. All right, so that's where it's going to sit. Now it's on a slight slope. So we're going to have to build a brick foundation that fills that in. And then the street will go right through here and across the tracks and up the hill. But it will also turn and go right through here. Now, we're going to put a structure right here. Oh, I'm moving things. Careful, Jason. But the structure that's going to sit right here is Lamont camera. And then when we get that done, we can start to put in our roads and sidewalk. And the road continues so it'll look exactly like that. And we'll even put in the brick sidewalks with the lamp posts, utility poles, all the detail. So we'll get a dirt road that comes down. We'll get back to our retaining walls that get put in here. I'd like to put a chain link fence through here. There you can see where we need to add that brick foundation under it. Same on this side. And after we get our track laid in here, then we can get back to working on this section. I am so excited about the direction that this entire section is going in. I have a pretty clear vision of what the finished scene will look like over here. So now it's just a matter of doing it. Now, beyond this, up the hill and the upper level over here, I do not know quite what that's going to look like yet, and it may take some new kits coming out to spark an idea, but it'll come to me. You know, thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. You know, I just love sharing it with all of you. It's just such a thrill, and the support that I receive on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it's overwhelming. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate it. And I really hope that I inspire all of you to do the best work that you possibly can. This is such a great hobby. I truly enjoy it. And of course, a special thanks to all of my Patreons. Incredible. Thank you so much. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.